Liverpool 2, Chelsea 0. Mo Salah's what? He's what? Boom. There's your boom right there. That's the best way to silence racist haters. What's a hater's job? To hate. All this running off the pitch, we're going to walk off the pitch. Nah, that's how you silence them. With a little tree yogi in that, a bit of yoga in that. Jeez, man, it's buzzing. What a game and what a result. I'll jump in and say this to Chelsea fans. The ones that were cussing in, being racial. Are you normal? Are you normal? Don't piss man's off. Do you know what I mean? Ever since Raheem Sterling's been copying it, but look what he's been doing, causing havoc. And that's the best way to silence mans. So listen, you know what? You got something to say. See my face more. See me more. You're going to have to watch me do my thing more. And I'll be honest with you, I think the performance today, I was actually getting vexed. Half-time, Ashley Cole, I think Chelsea have been a better side. Yeah, they haven't. They have not. Liverpool, it's sustained pressure. Just sustained. I was talking about it. We watched the game like with a lot of the family get together and make a big thing of it. And it's like we're watching the game and certain people are like, let's just freshen it up, change it up, inject more energy. I'm like, yo, Liverpool are literally, again, going back to boxing, they are winning this fight on points. And it's like, right, it's a sustained pressure, and no one is capable of being that focused for 90 minutes. It doesn't happen. You will get your chance. Like Chelsea would have their phase, and they did, but Liverpool were consistently, for me, the better side. Just it was like just beating them into submission. Yeah, I think, don't get me wrong, I think Chelsea had a good performance where they were making things difficult. They seemed quite strong in the centre of the park and all that kind of stuff. But if you look at the first half in closer detail, how many clear-cut chances did Chelsea really have in that first half? And Liverpool did have a few chances where Salah hit straight to the keeper, and there was a few others in there. And I think Liverpool, as you said there, I felt like Liverpool were in the driving seat. And the stats showed it at the end. We're not big fans of stats, make that clear, but Liverpool were quite dominant in that performance. And then after the goals happened, don't get me wrong, Chelsea came back fighting again. They reacted. And those few chances that Hazard had, you know what? Hazard's one of those players, yeah? You know, when you look at Messi, you look at Ronaldo, when someone receives the ball, you start going, woo, woo, woo. We was literally doing that. We was literally doing it every time he got the ball. And when they made the change and they put him on the wing, you called it. You said he's going to cause havoc. And that's what he did when he went onto the left-hand side and Trent, he looked like he was aging. He looked like he was aging trying to keep up Hazard. Trent looked like he literally aged immediately, bro. As soon as Hazard came up to his wing, he was like, me? No. Yo, Fabinho, just come this way. Just protect Maz a little bit. We'll just double up. We'll just triple up. You get someone else in here as well, because it was havoc. Yeah. Havoc. Hazard FC, bro. That's what they are. Hazard FC. If he goes, they're just FC. They are just FC. Because the way he's doing things at the moment is actually crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. The way he was beating a man, coming back, beating him again, and then putting a cross in. So sometimes when you beat someone and a player comes back and you think, just get your cross in. He was beating people, beating him again, and then putting a cross in, and it was always in a good area. If Chelsea, you cannot afford to lose this guy. Otherwise, it's a wrap. Mm-hmm. It's a wrap. He is nuts. Going into the first half, though, when Hazard was in central, you have to give your hats off and props here to Maz like Fabinho, Bugs Life, Matip, coming in there, and they were at his heels. They were chopping him up. And he was getting aggravated. You could tell there's some of the times that he was rolling around on the floor. And it was some of them were fouls, to be fair, but they were. Listen, but you know what I mean? That's what you need to do with these kind of players. It is what it is, but that's what you got to do to some of these players. So I think looking at the tactical side of things, this is my interpretation of it anyway, is that they've obviously gone Hudson-Odoi and who else was it on the other wing? Willian. So Willian and Hudson-Odoi, because they can go that way. They can track back. So I think what they wanted to do was, we don't really want Hazard to have that responsibility of going that way. We want him going that way only. If he plays in that wide position where he is breathtaking and he is phenomenal, there's always going to be that chance of going in that way. And so obviously tactically you can see why he done that. Everybody's gone, right, well, let's leave Hazard up the pitch because we won't have much of the ball, but we want to make it count when we get it. But Hudson-Odoi, if you're someone who's listened to all the hype around Hudson-Odoi and you watch that game today, you're going to be like, what the hell? What's the noise? The guy was useless. He was rubbish. But he was rubbish today. But the reason that was because you're asking him to do a job where he has to worry about that way. Make sure, can you shield? Make sure that ball doesn't get in. There was no chance when he was going that way. The amount of times, and then when he was going trying to get one-on-one with somebody, midfielders doubled up. So I think tactically, and then the other thing I noticed was when Liverpool were under the cosh, when he's brought Milner on and Wijnaldum on, the tactics that he done, fair play to the manager, to Klopp, because he's gone, Wijnaldum and Milner sit in as almost
as the back four, but then he's pushed the other two on the fullbacks really high and wide. Robertson was really high up the pitch, and Arnold was really high up the pitch, because that meant Chelsea wanted to crowd the middle of the pitch. Right, we're going to crowd it out and get the ball, get them one-on-one. Fine. What we're going to do is we're going to put those midfielders in to make them sit, and then make those guys go up the pitch, which means your fullbacks can't get out. If your fullbacks can't get out, that means your midfield are pretty much null and void, because there's no way that they can then... They've got no runners. They've got no one going that way, and that threat's consistently going the other way. So you're doubling up on those two areas. So it was ballsy, and especially when you're 2-0 up and you're under the cosh, very ballsy. But Milner and Wijnaldum came on, shored it up, and it meant that their midfield was just basically like, right, well, we've got nothing. We're not getting the ball, and we're not marking anyone. So what are we doing?
Yeah.
So I thought, hats off to Klopp there. He spotted it. They were under the cosh big time. I also felt that Wijnaldum's substitution was probably 5 minutes too late.
But yeah, it could have been. It could have been. They got actually lucky there. The fact that Hazard missed those chances. I think this game, I mean, some of those big chances there could have changed the game. I think Alisson needs to be given credit as well. You know, even for the first miss of Hazard, the way his position as a goalie, his body position, it was perfect, and he allowed Hazard to miss that. And in the second one, Hazard, I guess, kind of scuffed his lines there, but he's on it, right?
But the run that he made, the check
timing, bro,
the checked run. So if you look between Alexander-Arnold and Matip's scanned. He's thought, right, well, what's going to happen is he's going to make that run in front of me, so I'm going to make sure that I block that run. He's gone, and then he's just checked. So obviously, Bug's life is just scan, right, blind side, but I'm scanning. I've got him, because he's going to try to that run across me. I'm going to get my body. So his movement was boom there, and then he's checked into that space in between Arnold and Matip. Arnold out of the game by that point, because he's probably thinking, right, well, that's his responsibility now, because what's going to happen is his run initially is going to go across the centre-back. Unbelievable run. Matip, you can blame him if you want, but people that have played centre-half will know that is just unbelievable movement. And it's so electric. You know, the movements that he does, it was just like the check, boom. Mate, he was Hazard FC was just too much. And I think you can say whatever you want about the defenders. I was losing my mind. I was saying to him, I was like, fucking hell, why is he getting the ball so easy every time? But sometimes you just got to take your hat off and say, you know what, we are witnessing one of the world's best at the moment.
And Henderson. Let's talk about Henderson. When they came out for the second half, the intensity seemed to increase straight away. Some of the passing, and then that cross over the top. That's quality. To put it on his head and go over the 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, I don't know how many people were there. To put it on his head like that. And that changed it. That really opened up the game. And then obviously Salah's goal. But Henderson's performance overall, what do you reckon?
Henderson was very good today. And listen, I know that people will probably watch that and think, oh, this guy, he always goes. Listen, if someone plays well, you got to give props where the props are due.
That's it.
There are also times when he gets the ball and you think to yourself, wow, I use Coutinho because he played there, but you think, Coutinho would have taken the ball turned or taken it on the half turn to look to inject. He doesn't have that injection, and sometimes you see him in the final third and he looks a bit rigid, but what he does give you is that intensity, the press. He buys into that obviously massively, and he's not scared to rattle someone, which is sometimes we've been guilty of being a bit too nice, but he's not scared to rattle somebody, and obviously the assist today was...
And what it means to him as well, you see him lose his shit. I think it was Trent was the only one who came running over to him.
Yeah.
Everyone running over to Mane. But Mane, always causing havoc, as we always say. Yeah. And his goals have been so important this year for us. And he was there again. Like you said, his positioning was perfect as well to hold it.
To not get sucked in. I think that's the thing to because it's just natural instinct for a football player to see. In that position, I want to go and score a goal. So my chances get to a penalty spot. He's just held his position, carried on his run, and then he realised it's opened up, and he still didn't get sucked in. Let the ball come. These guys are good enough to put the ball there, and he just knocks it in. Makes it look easy, and everyone's like, oh, it's just a tap-in. But you've got to be there in the right positions, and that's the discipline to stay there, to stay in that position, to know that, to just trust that this is where I'll get my goal. So,
as much as Salah's goal was literally unbelievable, and I think it was almost undefendable, like the way he nipped inside and popped that shot off. But when you're watching it, you can actually see that shot. You can see that the top bins, and then you're thinking, nah, he's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. Because normally, when he cuts inside, he does that curling shot. Do you know what I mean? The way he put his lace through that, it was you can't save it.
You're right. And I think again, looking at it from the playing perspective, and I just find it. Sometimes I find that these pundits after games, they say things for saying its sake, just because I feel that I have to say something because that's my job. So he's gone. Why is Emerson showing him inside? Right, that's what he said. Now, second one is Jorginho should not let him get the shot off. Sometimes, let's just be honest, yeah. Cashley Cole, listen, you're obviously arguably the best left back I've seen in my generation. I don't think there's anyone that's been up there as good as he has defensively over a consistent period of time. I could be wrong from what I've seen. That's what I'm saying. But he said he's went at half time said I'll be happy if I was in a Chelsea from Chelsea. I think they've been a better side, and he also mentioned that he goes, potentially could have done more. Easy to say that. Let's break it down and say, right, if Mo Salah's running at you, you know that he's got a bit of pace, and if he runs you on the outside, there's every chance he can do that. So what do? You change your body position, show him inside where you've got 3 midfielders, of which you've got to beat 3 midfielders, and then the centre halves, and then a goalkeeper that's 70 million. So you'd expect him to be top bracket. Shifts it inside. So the first point is you should not show him inside. I disagree. Crowd him out. Get him onto the left foot. He's got to beat all these players. Jorginho, you're probably 30 yards out, 35 yards out. You've got a goalkeeper that he's a top goalkeeper. He's not I'm not saying world class, but he's a top goalkeeper. You're saying, well, take a shot from there. You'd have to beat a goalkeeper from 35 yards out. There's only way you can do it. You can bend it round, which is impossible because you would not be able to get the bend on it. You're going to have to stick your laces through it, and you're going to have to swaz it into the top bins. You're going to have to do that if you're going to score from there. And if you do, hats off to you. So he's probably thought, if I leave my position, if I leave the shape, then that opens up an opportunity to slip Firmino or slip a midfield run in. So he's probably thinking, shoot, go on, because if you score from there, fucking hats off to you. He's taken it out of his shot. He has bobbled a little bit, and just as Jorginho's engaged him, he has laced it and swazzed it into the top bins. Sometimes you've just got to turn around and be like, fair play, hats off to you. Because you hear it all the time. If he gets it out of his feet and sticks in the top bins from 35 yards, fair play. And that is it. You could argue and say, oh, Emerson should show him out wide. But then he gets skinned, and then it gets a cut back and it's an easy finish. Then it's like, oh, well, maybe we should try and crowd him out. Numbers would suggest crowd him out. Jorginho, could you engage him quicker? Engage him quicker, leave your position, open yourself up for a slide, let him shoot. So sometimes I think it's difficult. If you can't pick faults at Chelsea for that too much, I think that sometimes you've got to take your hats off and say that was a moment of absolute sheer magic.
Totally agree. Naby Keita. Now, this was the beginning of the game. People were unsure if that was the right trio for this game in particular. Now, I completely agree and understand the reason why you picked Naby Keita for this game, because he's on a high. He scored 2 goals in 2 games. But I personally felt that Gini should have started this game. Now, from the way the game went and his performance, do you think that was the right decision? Do you think Naby did well in this game?
I think it was the right decision.
Yeah.
I think it would have been very unjust if you dropped him after what he's done, the impact that he's had. I just think that I would have changed it sooner than he did.
How do you think he got on, though? How do you think he got on?
I thought he played well. I thought he did really well. I thought the thing about him is he will pick up the ball in tight areas. He's got a very good first touch, and his dribbling ability is underrated. And at that time, when everything was going nuts, taking the ball and he's going like that.
He literally went, calm down, yeah.
So I was happy with that. I've got no problems with that. He still needs to adjust a little bit more, because I almost feel like when he gets caught or when he's dispossessed, he almost feels like he's out of the game. He takes so long to get back. Is it just me, or he just feels like he's treading? He's literally stuck in mud sometimes. But I think he had a good game. I've got no problems with him playing today, and I think he's starting to grow into that position. But the one man that I believe has been instrumental and who was fucking quality today was Fabinho. For me, I thought he was quality, and that is the player that everyone talked about. I know there's a guy that I know, Josh, knows really well, and he said to me, he goes, this Fabinho character, he goes, he's a top player. I watched him play. I watched him for the first few months, like all Liverpool fans did, and thought, ooh, it's a dud. We've been sold a dud.
You're talking of Fabinho as well, though, and Firmino. The stuff that he does, he does it every single game, personally, for us, right? Here's some of his defensive work today, and some of his creativity is just unbelievable, and he's just so underrated, it's crazy, which is good for us, because people don't see him in the
my question would be, do we need a number 10 that we were talking about, this creative midfielder, or do we need a centre forward? Because could Firmino not play the number 10 and then allows you to have a centre forward that will just bang goals? That's my question, because a lot of people are saying at the moment we need that no creative, and I've been the one saying it, but I also think that, looking at it, we've got the answer to our prayers in front of you, because then it becomes a front four. And he's happy to do the defensive side of it. If he's happy to do the defensive side of it from centre forward, well, why don't you just leave him in midfield? He still has a creativity element to his games, and it gets you in centre forward like a Werner, who can go in and just bang goals. I don't know. Or Dybala. That'd be nice.
Going back to some of the Chelsea performance, I know they're going for the top 4 on that, and I think there's some good performance from them as well. Kante was heavily involved in that game. So his engine is incredible. His speed, I was surprised by. He's really quick. He's actually really, really quick.
I know. I always thought he was sharp. But I didn't know he was that quick.
And it's good to see Loftus-Cheek starting. It's good to see Hudson-Odoi starting.
Who I feel sorry for. I think that they left him out to dry a little bit today, but he's playing. Deserves it.
Who?
Hudson-Odoi.
Oh, sorry, Hudson-Odoi. Yeah, exactly. So I'm saying it was good to see that he's actually selected these players, because these guys should be playing. And I think they had a good performance. And I actually like Sarri. Like, I don't know what people think about Sarri, but I actually genuinely like him. I think he's an honest guy. Even he said it in the interview afterwards as well. He said Liverpool were a better team than us at the moment. And that's pretty much what it was. He didn't say that they were undeserved. There's chances they didn't take. So I don't think it was good to see those guys getting a gig.
I actually think now is the time for Chelsea. They might even have to because of this transfer embargo. I don't know what the sort of the ramifications of it are, but now is the time to say, right, Tammy Abraham, this is your chance. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, this is your chance. You're going to come and play. You know, there's a guy that played for Wigan today, that Reece something James, I think his name was. Whoa. I had to look at him. I thought against Leeds, he was probably the best player on the pitch. I thought to myself, what a player. I looked at him. He's a fullback for Chelsea. He's playing centre midfield. Absolute unit, like a bull. Just mashing mans up. It's time. I think it could be time now to turn around and be like, right, if the embargo does hit, then fine. If we are going to lose Hazard, which it looks like they will, it is now time to say, right, well, Pulisic is going to come in. Hudson-Odoi, this is your chance, right? Maybe give him the number 10 shirt. I don't know, whatever. But just say, right, this is it now. You're going to come in. Tammy Abraham, all these guys that are out on loan, now's the time. We've Mason Mount got a hat-trick on the weekend. This is the time now to start saying, right, well, we got to cut our losses. If that is the case, because I don't see how Higuain is a quality player. He's achieved a lot of his career, but he's come to the Premier League at the wrong time, in the wrong physical state. He's slow. He hasn't got that the physicality. When he came on today, the clip channel ball, oh my God. It was actually funny to watch him run after it. But he's been a bad boy player for a long time. But if the embargo has hit, Tammy Abraham will give you those legs. Tammy Abraham will give you that ratting about. And he scored goals in different divisions and he's earned his stripes. Hudson-Odoi had to learn his trade and he's done it. Mason Mount scoring hat-tricks. They've got lots of good players. Do the players in the positions at the moment, are they better than what you've got on loan? That's the question I'd ask Chelsea fans. A lot of players, I think, are earning their stripes and they're ready. So that's where and with Sarri, the type of manager that he is, I think the opportunity is there now to blood those guys.
So 2 questions. Is man of the match for you?
Well, it's given to Henderson. I personally would give it to Salah because I thought I think he trained with that Emerson when they was at Roma and he thought he's shit. He was shit there and I'm going to run him. And he gave him a torrid time and scored that worldy goal. And his performance overall today was back to the levels that we expect. So for me, I'm going to say Salah.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Henderson. I think if it wasn't for his contribution for the game and the first goal, I don't know where this game would have ended up and would have gone. So, and for all the critics that he's got, and all the criticism, shall I say, that he's got, he did well to do that. So I'm going to go with Henderson. 2 questions for the way the season's going to end now. So, for you, the 2 big games, I think not just for you, for a lot of people, was the Tottenham and the Chelsea game. We come out with 6 points out of those. Got 4 games left? Do you think Liverpool... Are you favouring towards Liverpool now winning this league, or you still don't see City dropping a point? And what about Chelsea? Do you think top 4 for them?
I don't think Chelsea are going to get top 4. Sorry, because I just don't think. I think the fixtures that they've got. Are they going to start prioritising Europa League? Do I think they can win the Europa League? Yes. They've got people that have won trophies against other teams. They'll tump Arsenal. I think if it came to a cup competition, that Arsenal team aren't used to playing in big competitions where Chelsea players have. So I think that'll probably be their route. So I don't think they're going to get top 4. For Liverpool, I said it to you ages ago. I believe that those 2 games at Leicester and West Ham, after those games, I just felt that we'd lost a chance. And I'm watching Man City at the moment.
Yeah.
I can't see them losing a game.
But from everything that's happened, you're still not. It's not making you change your mind thinking this might be the season, or you still. No. Obviously, I know you're hoping.
Yeah, I'm absolutely hoping.
But you're still not swaying you towards.
No, because the thing is, every time I do start to think, dare to dream or whatever, as soon as you start thinking about it, you watch Man City and you're just like, fucking hell. They've absolutely battered Palace today, and they didn't even get out of second gear.
I'm still believing. I still believe that this season, I think it will be Liverpool's league, and I think there's so many shit that's gone on in this whole league, and I just think that this year is the year. And I'm still hoping and believing. I think that we will do it. And I possibly agree with you on Chelsea not finishing on top 4. I think they will prioritise the Europa League. That's the way forward. But it's so tight down there. Man United, Tottenham, all these, and Arsenal, they've got some big games coming up.
I actually think Arsenal's fixture list is probably the most favourable.
You say that, but a lot of them are away. And they're not good away. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
do you know what? Spurs, the thing about the only thing is, ask me after the Spurs game, Spurs play Chelsea Spurs play City in the league. Because they are the only team. Do I think that Spurs will beat Man City in the Champions League? No, I don't. I think at the Etihad without Kane and Ali, I think Man City will trounce them, and I think that's going to energise them to say, right, well, we have to win this game, otherwise we might not get top 4 ourselves. So that league game, there's a lot on that one. And the Man United game against City, everyone says to me, oh yeah, but that game's going to be huge. Yeah, it will be a big game. But Man City are better than Man United. Fact. Period. End of discussion.
Yeah, but that comes out the window, doesn't it, with all the form and stuff. So I don't... Because they need to win that game much as City because it's top 4, so we'll see.
We'll see.
Anyway, until the Champions League game, the second leg of Porto, don't forget to share, like and subscribe and comment.